The year is 2030. High above Earth, a monumental chapter of human history is coming to a close. After more than 30 years of continuous human presence in space, the International Space Station is preparing for its final journey home. This isn't just the end of a space station, it's the end of an era. But why is this incredible feat of engineering being retired? And what does its dramatic, fiery descent mean for the future of humanity in space? Let's dive into the epic story of the ISS's final mission. First, let's address the big question. Why retire the ISS? Think of it like a classic car that's been running non-stop for 3 decades. It's an icon, but the maintenance is getting intense. The station structure is aging. Tiny cracks, wear and tear from the harsh space environment, and constant exposure to radiation are taking their toll. Keeping it safe and operational requires increasingly expensive and complex repairs. Plus, the technology on board, while upgraded over the years, is fundamentally from the late 90s. We've made incredible technological leaps since then, and it's simply time for an upgrade. The cost of just keeping the lights on is enormous, and NASA has bigger, more distant horizons in its sights. So, how do you bring down a 450-ton object the size of a football field from orbit without it landing on someone's house? This is where the plan gets really interesting. It's a carefully choreographed cosmic ballet. NASA has commissioned a special spacecraft, likely from a company like SpaceX, called the US Deorbit Vehicle. This powerful space tug will fly up to the ISS, dock with it, and then act as a giant brake. Over a period of months, it will perform a series of engine burns to gradually slow the station down and lower its orbit. The final, powerful push will send the ISS on a precise trajectory, targeting a very specific spot on Earth. This isn't just a random crash, it's a controlled, deliberate descent into the most remote place on our planet, Point Nemo. Also known as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, it's the farthest point from any landmass, a designated spacecraft cemetery deep in the South Pacific Ocean. It's where other space giants, like the Russian Mir space station, have gone to rest. Before we talk about the future, let's honor the past. What has the ISS actually done for us? Its achievements are nothing short of breathtaking. Medically, we've learned how the human body adapts to long-duration spaceflight, which is critical for future missions to Mars. We've grown protein crystals in microgravity to develop new drugs for diseases like muscular dystrophy and cancer. In physics, the alpha magnetic spectrometer has been searching for dark matter and antimatter, fundamentally changing our understanding of the universe. But perhaps its greatest legacy is cooperation. For decades, astronauts from the United States, Russia, Europe, Japan, and Canada have lived and worked together peacefully, side by side. In a world often divided by politics, the ISS has been a constant, shining symbol of what humanity can achieve when we work together. It's been a floating, orbiting United Nations dedicated to science and exploration. Now, you might think the end of the ISS is a huge step back for space exploration. But here's the twist. It's actually fantastic news for private space companies. The retirement of the ISS marks a major transition. Instead of owning and operating its own house in low Earth orbit, NASA will become a customer. They'll rent space and research time on new, commercially owned and operated space stations. Companies like Axiom Space, Blue Origin, and Sierra Space are already building the next generation of orbital habitats. These will be newer, more efficient, and potentially more specialized. This shift creates a vibrant, competitive market in space, driving down costs and accelerating innovation. The end of the ISS isn't an ending. It's the beginning of a true space economy, where private enterprise takes the lead in low Earth orbit. So, where does all the money saved from running the ISS go? We are talking about billions of dollars per year. NASA has a clear answer: deep space. This massive budget reallocation is being funneled directly into the Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon, establish a permanent lunar base, and use it as a stepping stone for the ultimate goal, sending astronauts to Mars. By handing over low Earth orbit to the private sector, NASA can finally free up the resources to focus on pushing the boundaries of human exploration further than ever before. Retiring the ISS is the key that unlocks the next giant leap for humankind, allowing us to go from circling our planet to becoming a truly interplanetary species. With the ISS gone, where will all the important science happen? Will research just stop? Absolutely not. The science will continue, just in new locations. As we mentioned, commercial space stations will have state-of-the-art laboratories that NASA and other international agencies can use. But that's not all. A significant portion of future research will happen on the Lunar Gateway. This is a small space station that will orbit the Moon, serving as a command center and science lab for lunar missions. It will allow us to study the effects of deep space radiation and test technologies needed for the long journey to Mars. So, scientific research isn't ending, it's expanding. We are moving our laboratories from our backyard in low Earth orbit to the front porch of deep space. Let's talk about the final descent. What happens when this massive structure hits the atmosphere? As the ISS plummets, friction will heat it to thousands of degrees. It will break apart, creating a spectacular, albeit temporary, meteor shower across the Pacific sky. Most of the station will burn up completely. However, some of the densest, most heat-resistant components, like docking ports and structural joints, will survive the re-entry. These fragments will splash down within the remote, uninhabited zone of Point Nemo. The environmental impact is expected to be minimal. The ocean here is one of the least biologically active areas on Earth, and the debris field will be spread over a vast area. Compared to the scale of the ocean, the impact is negligible, and it's a far safer and cleaner option than risking an uncontrolled re-entry over land. Finally, how should we feel watching this icon fall from the sky? It will be a bittersweet moment, filled with both sadness and excitement. There will be a sense of loss for the generations of astronauts, scientists, and engineers who poured their lives into this project. For over 30 years, we've always been able to look up and know that humanity had a home among the stars. Seeing it go will be emotional, but we should also feel an immense sense of pride and awe. The ISS was never meant to be permanent. It was a stepping stone, a magnificent bridge to the future. Its fiery end is not a failure. It's the successful completion of its mission. It's a testament to our ambition, a grand finale that makes way for the next act in our cosmic journey. We'll say goodbye with gratitude, ready for the new adventures that await us on the Moon, on Mars, and beyond. Thank you so much for watching. The story of the ISS is a story about all of us, our dreams, our curiosity, and our unyielding desire to explore. What are your favorite memories or achievements of the International Space Station? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love stories about space and the future of exploration, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.